Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name, as per usual, once again, is Evil Dragon 8XL. Welcome everyone, though, to more importantly, Zhuhai. So we went from the Principality of Monte Carlo all the way to Zhuhai. Long trip in 1 week from Europe to Asia. Joining me again, we shipped her over. Again, it is a one and only Jess. Say hello, Jess.
Good evening, Evil. Good evening, everybody. Hope you all travelled all right. And it was Zhuhai hosted this race on a street circuit in 1993. So way before me and Evil were born. And the racing continued into 96, where it turned into the international circuit that we're seeing right now. And it was constructed and became China's first permanent motor race track. And it actually had Formula 1 in mind, but obviously now the Chinese Grand Prix in Formula 1 is in Shanghai. But we're not talking about Shanghai, we're talking about Zhuhai. That is where the drivers are being faced at today. And it is not just any race, it is back to the 90-minute race. No qualifying and reverse grids.
Yeah, reverse grids. Well, I go through the grid order in just a few moments' time. But we have a nice onboard hot lap to go with, Jess, don't we?
Yes, we do, and as always, like last week, we've got VSR Road Tree, also known as Ethan. He's going to take us on a hot lap around this beautiful circuit. Enjoy.
Hello, my name is VSR Road Tree, and I'm going to give you a lap guide of Zhuhai International Circuit. So we're going to be doing this lap guide in the dark, just to give you guys a glimpse of what it's like driving these cars at night time. Powering down the front straightaway, braking for turn number 1. There's a very heavy braking zone, putting it into gear 1 just to limit the understeer and get the rear end rotated in. Also, since this is a high altitude circuit, the M6's turbocharger is going to give me a good boost out of the corners. Lots of acceleration and maintaining that power. Now into turn number 3 here. Once again into gear 1, hopping over the curves on the left, not touching those curves on the right though. They're very grippy and sticky, so they can drag the car off the circuit. Now into this flat right. Easy through there. Now uphill braking, kind of braked a little bit too late, but you can be adventurous with your braking zones here. You can brake early, keep it hugged tight to the curb, or you can brake a little bit later and get on the power earlier. Now once again the M6's turbocharger just giving us all that power that we need. Now another heavy braking zone here to the left, kind of bank corner, so you can carry a bit of speed through there. Now this left-hander very tricky, it's very bumpy. Bump on the apex right there, so it can throw the car off the circuit, so I'm not taking it flat just to limit the chances of the car rotating around. Another long straight into this corner that's very similar to turn number 1. Once again putting it into gear 1 to get the rear end turned in, and then gradually feeding it over to the left. Now another long straight here, so low downforce setting for the M6 for this race just to maintain that high end top speed. Into this fast right-hander, that is the final corner, so if you've got a bit of downforce you're going to have the edge there, using all the curb on the left hand side, and that is a lap guide of the Zhuhai International Circuit.
Right then, so here are the championship standings, and this could be a situation where Boyratsa could win the championship tonight if he has the gap of more than 102 points. The gap at the moment is 110 points, so Boyratsa has to score either first or second for him to win, which is doable. He's scored a lot of first places and his lowest is 4th place, but you know, never say never for Boyratsa. And Gaza is in second, and I'll need to actually double check quickly. Gaza will need to win with Boyratsa scoring 3rd or lower. If Gaza doesn't win tonight, then that's it, basically, for his chances at the time being. and Papano needs to win, and with Gaza and Boyrax are not finishing. So those are the permutations, as it were. But let's go through the rest of the standings. We've got Tinnis in 4th place. Unfortunately, he disconnected last week again. And we've got Jasko in 5th, Big Kid Daddy in 6th, Defino 7th, Leonardo 8th, Jared 9th, Foggy in 10th. When we got Matt Jordan in 11th, we've got Scold in 12th, Vetro 13th, Essa 14th, Ethan in 15th, who will be starting on pole for this week's reverse grid race, and Archel is in last place with 0 points. And due to the fact Archel has not finished he hasn't finished at all, he's not going to be starting on pole. He's going to be starting right at the back of the grid. So, would you like us to take through the rest of the reverse grid, Evil?
Yeah, well, we'll go through the reverse grid just in a moment, of course. But you pretty much said the reverse grid, though, Jess, because just whatever you just said, just reverse it, and that's the reverse grid, apart from Archie, who starts last still, because he didn't finish. So that's your reverse grid. Perfectly done in about 5 seconds.
There we go. We'll go through it again in more detail later on. And going through the constructs, we haven't talked about the constructs. We do have time. We've got 2 minutes left. We've got to be quick. So, Gaza and Maxa Racing, they are absolutely dominating it right now. And my stream has decided to die for some reason. I think it's back to normal. There we go. So, Gaza and Maxa Racing are with 620 points, a 227 point gap. With Squadra Demon in 2nd. Squadra Demon is with Papano and Big Kid Daddy. 3rd place is Squadra Costitori Infrati, and I think I pronounced that wrong. I think I butchered the name, but I don't care. That was with Tinnis and Jazzman. 4th place is Kozeki Rageable Academy, and that's with Defino and Leonardo with 285 points. 5th place is Motive Racing Team with 203 points, and that is weird. I'm just trying to figure out who that is. No, that's Jasko. 6th place is VSR. Obviously, it's just Ethan at the moment. With obviously Wolfman retiring. But obviously, his points count towards the constructors anyway. And we have SRA with Shed Team with Scold in 7th place. They're not last, which is good. And Team Fogarty HTP Motorsport in last place with 59 points then. So I know it's 1 minute left, but let's have a quick preview of the track, Yvonne. It looks very nice and light and dark. It just looks beautiful.
It does look nice and light and dark. That made total sense, Jess. Light and dark.
No, light as in like the lights in the dark, as in it's just the light shined in the headlights.
We know
there
what
we
you
go.
mean. We know what you mean. But, of course, a circuit that is often esteemed in making some brilliant racing. Last time it was used was season 13, I'm going to say.
I think so.
Head.
Yeah, I think I remember season 13. Yeah.
I remember commentating that, and Lewis joined me, Scold, of course, and he hasn't commentated since. So, there we go. That's a random fact for you there. Of course, like, championship decider, potentially, of course, if Mr. Tinnis, who's currently in 4th, does a good job. Well, he won't do a lot because he's in 4th. But if Raxa, who is the championship leader, wins this race, he'll be champion. If he finishes 2nd, he will be champion. If he finishes 3rd, depending on what happens with Gaza, he might still be champion. We don't know that yet. We'll get to it later on. But if Gaza wins this race, Raxa has to finish 2nd. Or, well, 2nd. Because you can't finish 2nd or higher if Gaza wins, but you know what I mean. So, we've got some interesting things to see. Now, if these top 2 disconnect and Papano wins, then the championship will move on to the next race, of course, next week, which will be at Dubai. So, a lot of excitement, a lot of drama to come ahead of us. We have our practice sessions complete, of course. We're having a little practice session before the start of the 90-minute reverse grid race. Spoke to some of the drivers. Vector is saying he has absolutely no confidence in the rear end of the car because for some reason the setup keeps glitching out for him. So the poor little thing, who has not had much luck this season, might not have any more luck today, though his car seems to be working relatively well right now. Ethan said, whatever you do... As A lot of little popping out and in. So Tinnis, who's currently in 3rd position. An okay practice so far, but it's Gazza and Jazzman, the top 2 in this practice session, Jess. And although practice doesn't mean a lot, these are on race field, and it definitely shows to me that these two look very comfortable so far.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a chance to win the constructors because they have just worked so well together as a team, and they were completely on it. And again, I think they've chosen the right car and the right setup, and I think they work very well together at the moment. So the practice times, they're not going to mean anything to us right now. All that what matters about is the race, where it's going to be a rolling start like it was, and it's 8 racing laps ahead of us, 59 laps with the one formation lap, of course. So should be interesting, Evil.
Yep, 59 laps ahead of the drivers. A championship to be decided. I always say I prefer a grid start, to be fair. That always makes some more drama. But these rolling starts, although less popular in my eyes, are the default for GT racing nowadays. Of course, less chance of a monumental accident happening off the start grid, of course, if anyone's stalling. However, we've seen the likes of real life. Especially, I remember going back a couple of years in Monza, a spectacular crash. I think that was last year. Very spectacular crash on the start line, of course. We're at a different entire circuit, one that does host GT racing, if I'm not too mistaken. I do think it runs in the Asian World GT Series, or it used to back in the day. I think it might have raced in GT1 back way in the past as well. So, a circuit that 1996 to now, only 24 years ago, might I say, which, saying it, makes it seem a long time ago when I'm 20 and a bit years old, and, well, we can say what you will, but anything can happen, and hopefully we'll get a good start in a little bit. I'm seeing that apparently the stream is having a little bit of lag.
It is having issues at the moment. So,
well, hopefully that'll pop
I
back up.
I am recording it, so if I have to upload it later, that might be the only way. But you are still going to get some action, whether it's going to be later or now. So I am trying my best to fix it.
Indeed. Well, let's get ready for the formation lap then. So, it'll be, of course, those 5 lights, wait 5 seconds and they're off, and then all the drivers will go one by one, like Noah's Ark, onto the grid formation, of course, and we'll see Ethan pop up to the top, and they are now underway and rolling, so let's look for Ethan, the big boy in the middle. He's like a dinosaur. Put the Jurassic Park music on, if you will. See that thing behind him there is Essa. And then everyone else following in suit. Vector will go up to 3rd position. And Scold, who is, I believe, going to be up there around about 4th, 5th position as well. The Audi's a terrible season for them. But of course, BMW, of Ethan, who did just do last race. He finished a brilliant 5th, might I add, in the Beamer. He has a good chance to win this race, potentially. Of course, his nearest real rivals will be Matt Jordan down there in 5th position. Then we've got Jazzman and the likes of the top guys, Papano, Gazza, Byraxa. They are all the way down the back, Jess. So Ethan's got a real good chance, but that BMW is not as quick as some other cars.
Nope, it's not. I mean, Rotary was more comfortable in some other cars in the start of the season, but I guess he wanted a change. In some of the cases, it's worked well for him, and some cases it hasn't. But to be honest, when he starts on pole, usually it's a good thing for him. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that he could deliver. Like we've seen Jasko do, like in the obviously from 8th to 1st, we've seen Jasko do well and actually take the win there. I think that was the only time it has happened. But it's. I think I'm not going to jinx him anymore, so I won't say anything more. But I think the stream's back. I think. I will have to double check about that. But sorry about the lag, guys. But you probably did not hear what we said earlier on. But it seems more fine now. So that is good news. So I think whatever I closed on my computer, I think has done the job. So sorry about that.
Good. So we're back live action then here at Zhuhai, here in China, the place which started everything in terms of my motorsport career. It was always one of the first races I commentated on as a commentator was down here in China. It's always good to come back here to Zhuhai. As I always just accidentally call it, was in Japan. I remember my first stream around here, I called it, which I got in trouble for, and a lot of people moaned at me. It's China this time, and we're getting ready to another brilliant start then. So Rotary, Essa, Vectro, Scold, Mad Jordan, then ahead of Carl Fogarty, the not 59-year-old Carl Fogarty, the 40-something Carl Fogarty. Ethan there realising was on the wrong side of the grid then and promptly switching over then. So let's see. BMW versus Audi. Then we've got the Lamborghini of Vectro. Let's see what he can do. He's been having a torrid season so far. Let's see if he can get any better than third. But we are racing, I believe, straight away then here in the twilight of Zhuhai. It's a good start from Ethan straight away. Then good start from Essa and Skull. Though crucially, is everyone clean through turn number one then? Gold there and Vector getting very close together, but it looks like Vector keeps into third position. But everyone, crucially, away through turn 1 and 2, absolutely A-OK. As Ethan flies away then on the inside there, Vector. Good start for him then. He's trying to get to the down into the left-hander. Can't do a lot there in the background there. It looked like Jazzman and Stold coming together slightly then. And Jazzman, a stonking start for him all the way up to 4th position. And now all the way, yes, he is in 4th. Now Skull down to 5th. A little bit of grass getting kicked up in the foreground as one of the cars there is now Matt Jordan has a punt at Skull. And Skull, who has done absolutely near zero practice today, is really dropping down the field like a boat in with a big hole in it. Let's see Matt Jordan on the outside. Skull snaking up the inside. Everyone backwards, like doing A-OK. Gaza up to 14th position. Then he's bound the field with Byraxa. I'm wondering, is Byraxa got damage? He has got damage. Byraxa then seems to have had an incident somewhere, potentially with Gaza, because we saw Gaza dropping back there. On the inside there is Archulon Jasko. That's down for 12th position, but it seems your championship leader, Jess, already in trouble at the start of this race. Yeah,
that's not what he wants. If he wants to obviously end this championship fight here, he has to be finished 1st or 2nd, and he's nowhere near that. So Gaza and Papano are in a very good chance right now.
Jazzman having a look up the inside, then down towards turn number 1. C does a little punt. Now he's up to 3rd position. Venture won't cover that one too aggressively, I don't think. Let's see, like the Dutchman versus the man from Qatar, of course, born in South Africa, now lives in Qatar. Let's see, covering him off well, Vector is then. So Vector seems he's got a little bit more pace in this race. This is the pace, though. Jazzman seems to have little dives up the inside, doesn't do it so far on that number 2. Or that free technicality of this race. Byraxa in the pits lane. So that is going to be a long afternoon for him. So he'll have to stop again. So that looks like he is almost certainly in trouble as Jazzman now has a little look up the inside again of Vector.
Oh!
No, he's hit him. That's not really good. Then he had a dive. Now let him back through, I think, there slightly. They're still side by side. Jazzman had a look up the inside there. Now Vector will have the inside still potentially. Let's see, can the Dutchman do anything? Can't do it. So has to back off. A little bit naughty there from Jazzman. Rather put himself in a place. Now, the issue is, I'm not sure. I didn't see it too once there because of the camera angle. But it looks like Vector just turned a little bit in there. Skull with a time penalty so far down there in 5th position. We believe that'll be about 1 second already. And then we've got Big Kid Daddy, then Matt Jordan up to 7th position so far. The fan favourite, it seems, in the chat as per usual. Tunis down there and Ava ahead of Fogarty in 9th position. So far doing good. He's racing away with Papano, I think, who's just battling with Archil then. So Papano really needs to win this race now, especially with everyone else running down the back.
Yeah, definitely. I think Papano's had a very good start in 10th place. Another person that's kept himself to himself is Essa Racing. He's still in 2nd place at the moment, but he's still got Jazzman attacking him right now for the potential podium slot. Essa's doing well to defend, but it's going to be very, very tough. There's a lot of places to overtake around here, as we were discussing earlier on. More than Monaco last week, I must say. And we can count that there was only 1 or 2 overtakes in Monaco in the race. That just goes to show how interesting that was. It was 1. Here we go. Jazzman's going to get... I don't think Essa is challenging for that move. No, he is not. I think he backs out of that. He knows Jazzman is fast, and he just wants to score as high as he can, but it doesn't matter where he is for him, which is... fair enough. He's playing the long game, really, more than the short-term games. And to be honest, Evil, that's probably what I'll be doing.
Stonking drive in the opening 4 laps, might I say, from Jazzman. He's gone from 7th up to 2nd position, was that now so far. So an absolutely scintillating lap couple of laps to him. He's got second up. Now Ethan will be his next target. Now Ethan probably knows more than anything else right now that the BMW is not going to be much of a easy thing to pass in some corners. However, in the straight line, if Jazzman gets a good line, he should easily be able to bump past. The Lamborghini definitely has a little more grunt than that BMW, though in real life you could say it's the complete opposite. Further down, we've got Vector ahead of Skull. So Skull rather holding Big Kid Daddy, Cam, and everyone else up. Tinnis all the way up there and back into the back of Matt Jordan so far. Then there we go, Matt Jordan keeping to the outside. Up the inside goes Tinnis Clem. Then we got, that is Fogarty up the rear. Having a little look there is Mr. Cole Fogarty. And they're going to make it 3 wide into turn number 1. Fogarty there, a little bit of a nudge. And, well, poor old Matt Jordan loses 1, loses 2 positions in the space of 100 yards. So, Matt Jordan down there in a brilliant little defensive move there by Tinnis. Brilliant racing from Cole Fogarty. And he just covers off the rear there. And Fogarty, well, he's the old horse, he's the old timer. Then up the inside there. Was that Archil there, or was that
Yeah, that's Archil and Papano.
Yep, Archil and Papano side by side. Then down the hill. Next to Papano, he's had a little incident before. A few other drivers doesn't want to make sure he doesn't have any more contact. As Archil trying around the outside, he'll be squeezed off wide there if he's not too careful. Indeed, he is squeezed off a little bit wide there. In the background, Defino and Jasco together as well. But so far, everyone nice and close together. Up front, 3 tenths between the top 2. We'll have a look at that as due course. But, Jess, brilliant racing of the opening couple laps here in China.
Yeah, and we can see the lead battle drop quite considerably as 3 tenths now separate Ethan and Jazzman. But I think the midfield battle is where it really is at the moment. But there's just so many battles happening around here, of contrast to last week, I must say. But you can see the Lamborghini is better on a straight line compared to BMW.
He's got to cover Jazz, so he's going to have to cover the inside. Trying to cut over here. Let's see, is he going to try it on the outside? That's the difficult thing. I think he's a little bit too far back. Let's see, is he going to lunge it? He's thinking of it. Ethan knows he's there. Ethan knows he's there. Jazzman touches ever so slightly. That will not impress Ethan because that force feedback and that wheel he's got will definitely hurt him a little bit there. But he looks like he just about got away with that. Jazzman, fighting spirit from the Qatar man. And again, he has a little look up the inside. Can't do a lot about it yet again, Jazz.
Yeah, I think it's a question of when for Jazzman, I think, potentially. But if Ethan can hold this off from Jazzman, that'll be sensational defending from him. But here he goes. Jazzman's going to cover Ethan there. Oh, both very, very tight. Great racing from 2 of them. Jazzman almost going off the curb there. And if he hit the curb a bit more, then he would have gone into the grass. And that wouldn't have been good for Jazzman's sake anyway. Jazzman last week said he had an enjoyable race in Monaco as we spoke to him, even though it wasn't interesting on our end. On his end, he quite enjoyed himself because he was climbing up positions throughout the race, and he started quite low and he finished, I need to remember where he finished in the last race. I think 4th. Yeah, it was 4th place, and he was very happy, and he impressed us, so we got driver of the day for both of us. So hopefully he continues this performance today as well.
Indeed. Well, so far, Jazzman is looking and hunting. Let's see if he can do anything then. Through the last corner then. Here we're on lap number 6 here in China. We're here at the Zhuhai International Circuit. Again, Jazzman looking left, looking right, a little bit too far back on this occasion. Further back, might I say, Jazzman has a little look up the inside from a little far back there, and oh, he's going for it on the inside. Oh, no, Jazzman. That is not on, my friend. He's rather punted Ethan off there. That was actually, and there's another car off. There is Scold going round. I think, was that Scold? Was that Esser going round? It is Esser, and that there is surely, that was disgraceful overtaking opportunity there. Rather ambitious, rather reckless. Jazzman rather punting the leader off the circuit, and that surely is going to be a penalty there.
Yeah, I think that might be because, you know, he tried and went for a risk and it just did not work out for him. I mean, you know, there's going to be people that are wanting to go and get the move and they're probably going to be scared, and we could just see a battle going in the background between... Oh!
Was that Fogarty? Was that Fogarty into someone then? That was definitely Fogarty. I saw contact there. I'm not sure what happened there, but Fogarty contact with someone, because we saw Fogarty in the air ever so slightly there, and that was poor old Archo then, who was all the way up there in what, 6th position, and has now been demoted down and almost taking Fogarty out of the race. And that was very close, and I'm not sure what happened then, but Archo very aggressive there, and almost more contact there. Is that Papano all the way up to P8? It is Papano up to P8 then, and we know he's had an opportunistic drive the last couple of races. But Vectro up to P2 now in this race. He has got a penalty, but he's got a big gap there. He's got Tinnish now in third. We know Tinnish will probably overtake Vectro, but then we've got Scold, Matt Jordan in fifth. Then we've got Big Kid Daddy there, one car off the circuit. That's Papano going wide through the last corner. And behind them, Fogarty, Archer and Gaza. Further down the field is Gaza there having a look. That's Fogarty having a look up Papano. Papano up the ins, been overtaken. Now here we go, Archer now trying up the inside of both of them. So Archer, the man on the mission, and he's going to try it. Fogarty trying to cover him off. And now he'll have the inside into the next corner. So he should just be able to hold that line then. Indeed he does. As long as he doesn't end up getting rear-ended there by Papano, who's having a look around the outside. Both of them run wide. And that is going to allow Papano to have a little switch around the outside there. There's a bit of contact nearly then through the corner. Archer giving him no quarters there. And now let's see if you can have a look up the inside. You want to be careful. Another car having a look up the inside. That is Gaza. Defino having a look on the outside as well, might I say. And all these drivers are having a ding-donger of a battle so far. As Defino has a look now on Gaza. Gaza up to 11th so far. He's not really making any moves. But Ethan and especially Essa right down 13th and 14th. And that there has got to be a very, very controversial, ambitious and rather reckless for your coordinator, might I say, move there from Jazzman.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I mean, I don't know what to say really. It's not up to us, of course. It's up to the stewards. Maybe the stewards may think differently, of course, but obviously this will be provisional results when we look at them later on. And here comes someone which was chasing Fogarty. I'm not sure who that was. That's Archer, actually. Archer and Papano and Fogarty touch. Oh, that... What happened to Fogarty there? He just looked like he went into Narnia. And Papano's there.
No idea. What on earth just happened there?
Papano's out. So that's
with that, surely the championship is over. What on earth just happened there? Was that some lag? That looked like lag.
That looked like lag. That looked like lag. And yeah, that is... unfortunately, his chance is going because the gap going into this race is 149 points between Papano and Boyabaxa, and the maximum points you could get is 150 with Papano having to win. So, yeah, that is a shame, but he could use the hunger for next season's championship, and I know he's going to be the favourite there, but... Oh, there's 3 wide going, and there's Jasko
and Gaza.
And Gaza as well. This is going to get very intense. Gaza knows he's got to move up a few places in order to keep his championship hopes alive. At the moment, due to math, we can't quite out if he's where he is now, if he still stands a chance, but we're not entirely sure. But we know that Gaza, I think, needs to win, I'm not entirely sure, but we'll check on that and do some maths at the end, as Gaza, he's hungry for it, isn't he? He wants to take this to Dubai, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got to make sure, like, especially because the car behind, that is of Bayraksa, right down the back of the race so far. He's going to be in a long crest and see if he can come through. Gaza needs to methodically and calculate every single overtake. He needs not to make a mistake. He just needs to try and keep his championship alive for as long as it can. We know he has to score 10 more points than the car ahead, and I will check how many points that will be in due course, potentially, Jess, or maybe you can. It was in the PSN chat, of course, the point scores. But as long as he gets 11 points in this race, he should definitely give more of a chance and open that gap up ever so slightly to Bayraksa, and he'll give the gap an opportunity to next week at Dubai. Jasko and Ethan so far, that's 11th and 10th position. Ethan down there, of course, after contact earlier on with Jazzman, who, when he was leading the race, Tinnis, meanwhile, up to 2nd position. So, top 2 now together then, and that, of course, is the famous pairing of the Scuderia Raging Bull team, if I'm not too mistaken. The team I can always never pronounce, but it is something Raging Bull, translated to English. Vetro, though, down into 3rd position then, driving for his little beautiful team. He often drives them. He often needs to drive in the old Street Ruffle team, I used to always call him, because of course that is a Dutch delicacy, and he likes Street Waffles. I can never pronounce it, and I pronounce it wrong again, so if he moans at me later on, he can say it at me. But Scold in 4th, we've got Matt Jordan in 5th, and then we've got Archil starting to come through this field in 6th. Now Archil has to finish this race. That is crucial for him, because if he doesn't finish this race, by forced default, he has to be removed from the series. He's in theory should have been removed last race because he has to finish 3 or more races. He hasn't finished 4 so far. As Matt Jordan has a look on the outside of Scold, a little bit of contact there through turn number 2 and 1 for them. Matt Jordan not going to go around the outside there. Scold covering off very well and covering as hard as he can. Now Scold really must be careful on the inside line here. You won't, Matt Jordan won't go around the outside unless Scold lets him through, which he does. So never mind then. So Matt Jordan then on the brakes. Scold has no confidence on those brakes, it seems, and rather letting easy move through. And let's see, is he going to have a little look up the inside potentially? It's too far back. So Scold down to 5th. Wasn't really any fighting spirit from the young Englishman there up near Birmingham. So a little bit disappointing. And the Scold, of course, of 2-3 seasons ago would have defended that one beautifully. As I thought someone going off the road, and that was Defino. But Scold relatively seems a bit more mute than he normally is. Doesn't seem more rat, doesn't seem aggressive. He just seems to have lost that edge that just had him a few seasons ago. He's just lost all comfortable, Jazz.
Yeah, it's a shame there, but I guess he was involved in quite a few incidents this season. He's had a bit of disconnecting as well, and he DNF'd in with Parna the other 90-minute race, and he's learned from those mistakes, and I think he probably will go for the moves towards the end, but he doesn't want to take it too risky now, because otherwise we'll get a lot of damage, and that'll be his race over. So he's keeping his head, well, he's keeping his mind more careful at the moment. He's keeping careful, actually, and that's doing him a world of good at the moment. So, meanwhile, I'm looking at the points. Now, Gaza is 8th place at the moment. He was 9th when we were discussing the 10 points. So, I believe he has to... 5th place is 23 points, 6th place is 20 points. So, Gaza... Oh, no, that's Jasko. I was saying Gaza really loudly because I was about to say about Gaza, but Gaza would need to finish 5th or 6th, I believe, in order to stand a chance at the moment, if Boy Raxa stays as he is.
Yeah, so a long haul then. So 5th or 6th, we believe, then, for Gaza to keep the championship alive for the next race. Meanwhile, Scold is drawing back more, Jess. So, do you know I mentioned he seems to have lost that fire. Well, he's going backwards now through the field. As now Archer has a look at him there. Archer drops back for the time being, and these two, the two drivers that often have contact sometimes and incidents. Well, they bump us again. So bumper cars for those two. A little bit of Scold lifting off there. In the background, that is there. Scold flashes lights there, I think, to apologise to Archer there. I don't think he meant that, to be fair. It looked like he got the rear end stepped out, clipped off, and then poor old Archer went straight into the rear end of him. Up top 2, by the way, we still got Jazzman Tinnis, then Vector, Matt Jordan, then catching the Dutchman very quickly, might I add, so far. And it's always going to be a question of where Vector can finish. And well, I see him, he might finish in the top 6, 7 positions, but he won't finish ahead of Matt Jordan. It looks like he's on course for a podium so far, unless he, of course, goes off the road again. Meanwhile, Archer closing on the back of Scold. Scold rear end because he's very loose there for turn number 1, but keeps it all in absolute check. So far, as we come down towards turn number 2 and 3, down the hill, of course, a little downhill braking, a little bit of a dip here. Always opportunity to go up the inside if you've got the line, but Scold a little bit too far ahead there. Now, this is the opportunity, Jess. If he gets a good exit here, Archer can have a little dive up the inside, I reckon, to this corner. Let's see, does he do it? Well, he's closing up. Let's see, Scold covers him off. Good defending by Scold, to be fair. Doesn't often... Well, we often slate him for defending badly when, well, he's gone wide, as I say, so never mind then.
Evil! You jinxed him!
I've jinxed him rather than. Well, I would say he was doing good defending, a little bit too ambitious on the brakes, and now he's back down into 6th position, so never mind. Well, he could still try and going on. He's got Gaza now behind. Then we've got Big Kid Daddy Defino. Then we got Ethan now up to 10th position.
Not anymore.
And down to 11th.
And down into 12th.
And into 12th. And into 13th. And why do I speak? Why do I speak, Jess?
I don't know. I'm doing my best to try not to laugh there, but I think he jinxed 2 people in the space of 3 corners? 4 corners? Oh, you know, you're not doing very well, Evil. But anyway, Ethan now down in 13th. He's not going to be happy with that, but I've got to say, Jazzman has really picked up the pace, 7 seconds ahead of Tinnis. I mean, That's just crazy. And I think is Eva going to the pits?
Yeah, he is. That's going to be pitting for fuel then. So, of course, you will have to pit for fuel in this race. It is 59 laps, and Papano is disconnected from the session, but he was out anyway. So that is his championship done, dusted, and buried in the ground, and then put a hatchet on top of that. But Ethan in the pit there now. He should come out. He might come out. He'll come out behind Byraxon. So Byraxon, who still yet to pit, by the way, he still has to in due course another pit stop. So we believe that no matter what, Gaza should just hold the title into the next round in Dubai, where it should be potentially wrapped up there. It'll be about 100 points, give or take. So we get to see around a circuit, which I love Dubai, of course. It's a beautiful circuit. Very, not a lot of drivers like, especially the first sector is a little bit, let's just say it's like the old 2010 Bahrain endurance layout. Narrow, tight, and twisty. Meanwhile, Matt Jordan, he's still in 4th position, challenging Vetro. Matt Jordan so far doing an okay job. He hasn't made any mistakes so far, which is to be said, counteractive of what I normally do to him. Because every time I say he does well, he spins off into a barrier. So let's see if he carries on his merry way. But Vetro, doing a really good job, to be fair, for him. He's in 3rd position. Well, we do mention it, though. He's outside curb sets, and we didn't mention it too earlier on. Very easy to spit your car off into those barriers. There, you go wide there. You see 1-2 cars going wide in the back. That's Scold, I think, in the background. As here we go up the inside. Matt Jordan up the inside. Late braking there for the Englishman. Vetro, fair play, Vetro up the inside. Well, he's never mind.
No,
catch it. Don't curse him again. No, he still caught it. No, never mind. We carry on. The curse isn't carrying on with me today. He's caught it just about there. But Vetro. It was a brilliant re-overtaking opportunity as he cuts a corner. Matt Jordan makes a mistake now. Oh, there goes Archil. There goes Archil off the road. And now Scold back up to 5th position. Everyone seems to be suddenly spinning.
Archil nearly hit someone in the background.
Yeah, Defino. I think that would have been there.
Yeah, that would have been Defino that he hit, and that would have not been good news there. So I think Vetro will probably be relieved about Matt making a mistake as well. So that brings him back into contention as well. Jasko's in the pits now for his scheduled stop, I believe, or it might be damage. I'm not entirely sure. As because of that, Boyrax is now into 12th place, which means chances for Gaza are getting a bit lower at the moment. But we'll have to wait and see, as Vetro's losing a bit of time to Scold and Big Kid Daddy, who's catching up. But I think Vetro will be happy with his performance so far, and so will I think Big Kid Daddy will be happy as well. He seems like to have a fun race. I think usually when I speak to Big Kid Daddy, he just likes to have battles, really. If he has a lot of battles and climbs up the field, it doesn't matter where he finishes. It's a good race for him if he has battles and climbs up. So at the moment, he's ticking all those boxes.
Yeah, I'll get past Scold then. Scold, very bad exit. Here we go. Big Kid Daddy up the inside. Scold giving the squeeze, gives him the room there at the inside. So we realise he had to concede that position. And Big Kid Daddy now up into 5th position. There, Scold can swing it around the outside. You can do it around the outside in turn number 1, get inside turn number 2, but you will run yourself out of room eventually. And of course, Scold does find that limit. Scold, who's now down to 6th position from 4th position earlier on. Though he is doing better than Essa, who did spin unfortunately earlier on. Essa up to 10th, might I say now, so he's recovering pretty good there. He's got a bit of a power slide through the corner. Well, what can you say really about some of these drivers? Gaz now up to 7th, might I say. So he's definitely looking for the championship. As Scold thought about the inside, thought about the outside, tries the outside, doesn't work. Almost hits the rear end of Big Kid Daddy for good measure, but he's carrying on his merry way. No real mistakes for Scold as so far. He's often a driver who doesn't really too rash moves and throw the car off the road. Though I say that, he goes off the road near about then, and now Gaz has a look up the inside, and let's see Gaza up the inside. That's the back off of that move there, and Gaza, he'll be keeping himself nice and clean. He won't be making any mistakes. He'll just make sure that every overtake he does from now on is just calculated, precise, slow, methodical overtaking from the last season's champion. And Gaza, who oftenly is a man on the mission, so I say actually no, 2 seasons ago, if I'm not too mistaken, actually Gaza won, because Boyraxa won last season, if I'm not too mistaken, am I, Jess?
I think Boyraxa has won the title last season, yes, I believe.
He did win. He's going for back-to-back, as behind them, we got Defino in 8th position, but let's see, Gaz up 7th, Scold 6th, Vector in 4th position so far, doing an okay job since we last saw him. Almost spinning off. Fogarty in the pit lane. Meanwhile, Dan at the back of That is in 11th position, so he'll drop down probably behind Ethan and a few others. Matt Jordan, though, up to 3rd position. So it looks like finally redemption day for Matt Jordan, who's not managed to really get the pure potential out of his car. He's often been pointing backwards or spinning around in places where really should have been up the front, especially since Donington Park earlier this season. He just really has been making some small and key mistakes as we've lost someone there. I'm wondering, is that boy Rax?
No, we haven't lost anyone. We had 15 drivers and we already lost the partner, Evil.
Yeah, so never mind then. I thought we just saw someone blipped up then.
No.
So I was fucking coming out the pit lane actually. Never mind. I thought Boy Rax had dropped them as Boy Rax are up a position and Fogdix in the pit lane and gave me a bit of lag then. So apologies for that one. Fogarty flashing his lights there in tandem. He's often the man who likes a good race. Well, the car might be damaged, but not really damaged. Meanwhile, Big Key Daddy on the back of Vetro. That is for the 5th and 4th position then to Vetro. Well, we say he's a good driver. Well, Big Key Daddy's often a man on the mission. Big Key Daddy going up the inside. And the background, Defino battling away with Archie was Big Key Daddy up the inside there of Mr. Vector, and looks like behind them Gaz going up the inside of Skull through turn number 1. Skull trying to hang it around the outside for good measure, keeps the line then just about, and Gaz up. Must be careful, just wants to keep him in position. Defino meanwhile battling away with Archil. Let's see, is Gaz having a look up the inside down for this tricky left-hander? Can't do it there. Archil has got past Defino meanwhile as Ethan in the pit lane again. And I'm wondering, is that might be for damage potentially, because he did pit just a few moments ago and now he's in the pit lane yet again here today. So if it's gone wrong for Ethan, I often say maybe it would have a bad race, but no, it doesn't work. The poor man, he just seems to be in issues. Meanwhile, that is
Tinnis
and Jasko. That's Jasko getting that then out of the way. So Jasko down there in 13th position. Good race so far for the top two, might I say, in this race. But it's Jazzman who's leading this race by 8 and a bit seconds. Rather pulling away so far. We're on that number 19 of this 59 lap race. I mean, we've got some 30 and a bit laps still to go ahead of the drivers. Tennis in 2nd. Matt Jordan in 3rd. Ahead of Big Kid Daddy, a fine 4th so far for him. Vectro in 5th position ahead of Scold in 3rd. Gather in 7th. Archel up into 8th position so far from the back of the grid, and then Defino in 9th. Essa then, you dropped down from 2nd earlier on. He's now down in 10th ahead of Boy Raxo, who's slowly coming back through this field, might I say. And with every move, the championship gets more interesting. Meanwhile, Gaza has got past. So now Vetro down into 7th position, actually. So Vetro's gone spinning somewhere on the circuit because he's gone down to 7th position there.
Yeah, I think he must have had a mistake somewhere, I'm not entirely sure, so that's a bit of a shame for him because he was driving so well in this race so far to defend, but maybe he's just lacking pace, and he's hitting the back of Archel. That is not what Archel needs, because obviously Archel needs to finish this race, and he's hit someone, Vetro. I think that's Defino he's hit. And I think Vetro's probably got a bit of damage there as Vetro's going to try and go around the inside of Archel, which he does. And with Archel getting a switch back there, this is going to be tight and close between those two. I think someone was flashing the lights there saying, move out of the way, what are you doing, mate? And I think that's Vetro that's annoyed and disgusted with what happened there. But that might have been his own fault there, as I think Archel clipped the curb a little bit. So, yeah, I mean... You know,
we got a penalty, Jess, actually, to be fair. I don't think that was that's what happened. We went wide. We saw him go wide through through that corner, that tricky turn 3 corner. He went wide there as Vetro has a look back up the inside. He got a slowdown penalty. He lifted off there. Vetro, I think, hit the rear end of him there, trying to get through. That's why Defino shot back up the inside there. That's what's happened then between those two there. Is Vetro having a little look up the inside there. He's now down into 9th position. He won't be very impressed with that one, but I don't think he could have done a lot about it, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Skull now to 6th position because that Gaza up to 5th position now. So he's very much trying to keep this championship alive. But Byrax now he's got, I think, was that 4 points, I think, for 11th position. I'm not too 100% certain. As we have Ethan out of the race, by the way, which is noted. So, poor old Ethan, who rather than been well, unfairly, in my opinion, one of the most brass moves I've seen for a long time from Jazzman up the inside into turn number 1. Rather punted round. That'll be discussed later on, I presume, in anger in chat, and we can discuss that later on in due course. But Gaz up in 5th position, Scold in 6th, Defino in 7th, R2 into 8th, Vectro up to 9th so far, well, down to 9th, so I say, in this race, because he's only going backwards rather than forwards. Essa in 10th, by Raxa in 11th. With that damage, we do believe he's very much going to be a sitting target later on, because he still has to come in the pit lane, so his championship is almost certainly in a little bit of questions for next race. It will definitely go down to the wire next week, but Gaza is doing everything he needs to do.
Yeah, I think he wasn't expecting Boy Raxa to have a horrible start from the bat, but obviously in this circuit, I always find that if you start at the bat, that's not a good thing. So I think reverse grids, I think they were not hoping that, and they did. So Jasko goes in the pits now, and he's out of the race as well. Oh, this car doesn't look good either at all. So we're down to 12 drivers in the space of, well, we're down 2 drivers in the space of a lap or 2 laps. So Ethan now out, and now Jasko. So that is not good for those two. But crucially, Archer is still in this race, and he's doing a fine job at the moment.
Yeah, well, Archer, he just has to finish this race now, really. That's all he has to do. Is as long as he finishes the race, he'll be redemption slightly, even if he doesn't do too well. He just has to keep the car trundling around, even though it depends on how bad it is. If he makes a mistake, he has not to retire, because if he does, he's in really big trouble indeed. Well, he's on the back of Defino and Scold right now. These two should be rather easy pickings for Archer, to be fair, Jess, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I think Archer's going to get past them easily. Obviously, Archer is used to driving in the Tier 1 category, whereas obviously Defino, he came recently from Tier 2. Defino doing a good job, though, in 7th in the championship right now, so he's not doing worse. He's even beaten some Tier 1 drivers that have been there for donkey's years, so he's doing well keeping up there. But, you know, Archer is a fast guy, and Defino's going to find it very tricky to get past him soon as well. And obviously we've got Scold ahead of Defino as well, so Archer's got to make do with 2 cars to go past Will if he wants to. Maybe he could get Gaza as well. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. But, you know, Defino likes a good challenge, and let's see if Defino could defend there. Yeah,
Archer very sideways in the last corner, might I say. He's he's rather gone off the road. I think Vetro might have a little look up that inside, actually. So, I think, actually, no, Defino's having a look at Scold, actually, up the inside into turn number 1. We'll have a cut to that quickly, then. So, up the inside, that is there. And, meanwhile, Vetro up the inside of Archer for 8th and 9th position, then. So, Archer demoted back down to 9th, as ahead of them Scold, still having a look up the inside, battling away on the curb there. Scold, he'll have the inside line, led on the brakes there for the Englishman. Brilliant dive up the inside there, runs a bit too wide on the exit. That'll give him a slowdown penalty. And let's see, will Defino have a little retaliation up the inside yet again? He's a little bit far back so far. Is he going to have a little look? No, he doesn't. Meanwhile, Vector battling then with Archer. Archer again back down the inside for him, and he gets the move done again, and again comes that inside line, and again Vector hits the rear end of him. That's Archer covering that line and rather blocking Vector there. Vector trying to go around the outside, and you won't do it around the outside there, my friend, because it's a little bit too optimistic around the outside. You'll rather been up the inside, but Archer had that covered, and Archer will stick into 8th position there. But Defino, good battling there with Scold for 6th and 7th. Gaza now up to 5th position in this race, and now it's going to be challenging up to Big Kid Daddy in 4th, and then potentially to the guys up front. Gaza 133.8. He is going quite quick compared to some of the other drivers. Big Kid Daddy also 133.5. Matt Jordan's setting in the 134s. He's setting a second a lap slower now, so you must be careful behind, because these 2 drivers are going to be closing.
Yep, indeed. I mean, the more they battle, the more that the other guys are going to start catching up. So they just need to keep their wits about them pretty soon. And I am seeing more visibility at the moment. And we forgot to mention this at the start of this race, but it is going to start. It started at the night, and as you can see, it's getting progressively lighter. I can see more clouds in the sky at the moment. So we are going to approach day start light pretty soon, which means different track temps, different tyre temps for the drivers to worry about, which means they've got to brake at different points potentially. They may brake a bit later than they do in the dark, but you know, they still got to be more cautious. They've got to take not as much risk as they can, but not go too aggressive. So, you know, they've got to think about different things here, but hopefully they're up to the challenge.
Indeed. Meanwhile, Defino on the back of Skull still. This is the battle for 6th, 7th and 8th position so far, because Archer's caught back up to this little gaggle of cars as well. Meanwhile, up front, by the way, we have got your race leader, Latest Jazzman. He leads by 9.1 seconds from his teammate Tinnish, who leads by 24 seconds down to Matt Jordan now. So Matt Jordan rather being outclassed and outshung really by these top two drivers. The Raging Bulls flying around this circuit. To be fair, Big Kid Daddy's also flying around this circuit as well. It starts to get warmer. He's taking about 2-3 seconds a lap out of Cam then. So Cam's starting to struggle in this race. And we've seen it so often, poor old man, he has really good pace, and then it just slowly teeters off and gets slower and slower and slower. And it seems it's doing that yet again here today. Into the 135s now. He is the slowest driver, bar Vectro, in this field. In fact, no, he is slower than Vector on that previous lap. So Matt Jordan's starting to go a bit slower now, and he's starting to struggle, it seems, with pace.
Yeah, it is a shame. He had a good start of the race. He started to pull close to the leaders, actually, but I think he dropped, just because he dropped a few positions, I think he's just not liking the conditions at the moment, and obviously since it changes every time, he is not putting the laps in. And to be honest, I don't like changing conditions either in the GT3 to drive, so I would have found it a little bit difficult either. But for majority of towards the end of the Monaco race, obviously Matt Jordan disconnected, so he didn't experience the night time. So he didn't get a little bit of experience compared to the other drivers. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see. He might have had a little bit of an off in the last lap, actually. We don't know. We'll see. Someone's gone off.
Big Daddy off the road. So he's spun the car. That's the exit of that corner. Then he goes on the curb and has dropped it. And that's into the wall. That's damage to him. And he was doing so well. Well, that is done, by the way. It's promoted Gaza now up to P4 in this race. And now poor old Cam has now got the runner-up for last season, the champion before chasing now. So this is going to be even more pressure, I'd say. Matt Jordan, he's got a little to work for now. Big Kid Daddy's gone, dropped in. He'll be in the pit lane for him. Now, he's done that in an opportunity where, in a time where he can recover that still. It's not all over yet. It's a long race. You've still got over, 25 and a bit laps to go. Almost 30 odd laps, give or take, just still ahead of the drivers. Yeah, a lot of laps still ahead of the drivers. So, anything still to play for. Meanwhile, Archil up the inside there of Defino, I think that was then. Was that not? Yeah, it was. So Defino down to 7th. There's Archil now up to 6th. It's now challenging up for Scold. And let's see, though, is Defino going to have a little retaliation? Now, Scold, as long as he doesn't end up throwing off the road and going wide again, which he does do so on cue as the sun starts to rise and the red hues now to overtake the blue in the sky. It's good to see a few old faces in the chat as well. Everyone flying high on this circus. Archil now has a look at Skull. That's the battle for now 5th position in this race, Jess, and he's doing a simply phenomenal job, that I say.
Yeah, he's had a mission, to be honest. He has been told he's got to finish, and he's doing more than just finishing right now, and he's trying to make sure that he doesn't take much risk, and when he does it perfectly. I mean, Archil's back to his old self. I mean, in his first race he did this season, he got pole, and he hasn't shown his true form since, and his lap time's 1:33.0. He's the fastest man on circuit right now at the moment, and second fastest, I think, is Gaza in 4th place, so that is pretty good to see as well. But we got a freeway battle into turn 1. I think almost banging wheels there from Archil and Skull by the looks of things, and I think Archil is keeping P5 at bay at the moment. But what the Skull needs to do, he's got to be on the lunge here into turn 2, which he could do, but I think he's going to back off this. Yeah, he's too far back at the moment. He's got to be watch out for eye on Defino as well, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. As I can see a bit of skid marks on the road there, so the conditions are getting quite trickier. But yeah, Archil doing very well to hold on to Skull there.
Holding on to Skull, passing Skull, might we say there.
Passing, sorry.
Yeah, now up to 5th position there, ahead of Skull. Good overtake there, banging wheels, might I say, down in towards turn 1 on the straight. Skull, who's no, what's the word? No stranger to content that story. We've got a car off, meanwhile, down the hairpin. I'm wondering who that is. This big kid daddy has gone off the road somewhere again. Then he's down into top position, so he seems he's got damage again, potentially. Yeah, looks like damage again on that car. Potentially, not sure what's happened there for poor old big kid daddy. Might have, the AI might have taken over, to be fair. He's coming in the pit lane yet again, so might have AI issue, but he's now down the back of the field. He's a lap down as well, so poor old big kid daddy. If it's gone wrong, it's gone even worse. I'm wondering if they even fix the damage potentially as Scald and Defino are now the next two drivers to do battle around this circuit. Meanwhile, up front, by the way, keeping an eye on that third place battle where we've got Gaza now closing up to Matt Jordan. Another, what, 3 turns taken out, so Matt's done and up his pace ever so slightly. Everything looking upwards, Jess, and meanwhile, Big Daddy, who's poor old Big Daddy, you've got to feel sorry for him, Jess, don't you, down the back?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he was doing a phenomenal job, but he had, I think that punt that he had in the wall that we saw earlier was just on the icing on the cake, really, in a bad way. So, as Defino's having a look around the right-hand side, he's doing quite well to challenge for moves, and this time it's on Skull as well. Skull must be involved in pretty much every battle. Wow.
33 seconds, Skull. Now, how's he done that?
I don't know. I literally don't know, Evil. It might have been he exceeded the track limits a little bit too much and going off the track too many times, potentially, but we don't know. But meanwhile, Skull is not going to stay sixth at the moment, because even if he does stay sixth, he's going to drop way down due to his 33 second penalty. And I don't think, even if he slowed down, I don't think that will be removed. So that's a shame, isn't it, Evil?
Yeah, that's well, I'm not sure how he's done that, to be fair, for 83 seconds, but that's a big penalty there as he loses the race slightly there. That'll be Defino up into 6th position, then surely then. Defino round the outside. He really should have tried to go up the inside there. Dummied him up the inside. He'd be trying around the outside. Scold, who skates himself on the brakes for turn number 1, holds that line. A-OK, Defino. Let's see if he can do anything. Yeah, well, that's something he can do, is go grass cutting through the corner. And not really what he'll be doing there, Mr. Defino, going sideways through the first corner. Carries on his merry way nonetheless. He's struggled a little bit, but he's still in 7th. Vetro down to 8th position now so far from the front of the grid. He was running 2nd for most of the first stages until a mistake, and he slowly dropped back where the faster drivers started to overtake him earlier on. But so far up front, Mr. Jazzman, the Lord and Shaver of our tier, though some can say earlier on was a rather reckless and a little bit of a silly move, might I say, in my eyes, up the inside of Ethan down to number 1, a rather rash and irrational move, might I say. It was a long race, and we really don't be making those moves earlier on, but nonetheless, he leads this race by just over 10 seconds from Tennis in 2nd. Matt Jordan a further 30 seconds down in 3rd position. He's getting caught right now by Gaza, who by the looks of it will take the championship down to the next race. Though we'll keep an eye out, especially we'll try and do some live standings for you later on and try and work out how close it will be, because we do not know exactly where Byraxa needs to be scoring for Gaza not to win. Not to bring it to next race, of course, so anything can still happen in this race, but we do know Byraxa is still yet to come in the pit lane for his last stop, so he's going to be right down there in about 10th, 11th position. He'll be lapped by the leaders as well, so poor old Byraxa, it didn't go wrong, it didn't go well since the start of this race, really. He's got really not a lot of pace from that contact. He has not really been able to carry the speed. He's a 34 zeros. He's to be fair, he's quicker than the 3-4 drivers ahead of him. However, these 3-4 ahead of him still yet to come in. So he still could get 6th position, Jess, though.
Yeah, it's still possible, I think, for Skull to stay sixth, but you never know. We've seen people who have done their strategies to perfection, and I think all it takes for people lower down to bottle it, and I don't think that might happen. So Skull needs to get his head together, to be honest, to make sure he stays there. But, you know, only time will tell for Skull the Englishman, of course, and that would he could want his best result of the season if Skull could stay fit. Actually, no, his best result was in I'm just trying to see. It was either Hockenheim or Donington. I think it was it was Donington, I think. No.
You got 4th.
Oh, wait, no, you got a 10th in Spain, and a 12th and a 10th, and then a DNF in Rapuna, and then a 4th in Hockenheim. Yes, it was Hockenheim. I'm reading things wrong. Sorry about that, Evil. But yeah, 4th place in Hockenheim, and where he was having some great battles there, and I was very impressed with him. So, yes, actually, I do remember it was Hockenheim, because I do remember him being so delighted for Skull getting 4th place. I was cheering for joy there, but there we go. Tofino down in 7th, and Vetro dropped down to 8th, and I did notice that the skies are getting very, it just went from dark to light very quickly there. As soon as it's got light, bam, it's like this. It's just like, what's going on? Is it like the change of progression or something? I don't know.
Yeah, time progression is on, of course, so I think it's about 12 hours time progression potentially. I'm not too certain. We'll presumably get some information there. I know Ethan's in the chat, they can let us know exactly what it's on, but I think it's on around about 12 or 10 time progression. It should finish about 2 p.m. in game time. Meanwhile, Tofino, he's looking at Scott. We know Gazza's closing right up on the back of Matt Jordan, so we'll keep an eye on that battle so far. Those two are just coming through the towards the third last corner right now. They're at the top of the circuit. You can see there those 2 dots up there, now coming down towards the last corner. Meanwhile, Tofino still with Scold. Scold rather trying to defend a little bit there. He's weaving ever so slightly. Tofino looks like he's got the measure of the Audi so far. The Lamborghini, they do run the same engine. They are, in some cases, very similar cars. However, completely different chassis and everything, different body kit. But the same engine, so in some cases, you could say in terms of power, very close down the top speeds as well. Of course, it depends on how you use that car. Low end Lamborghini definitely seems more comfortable than the Audi, though. It just seems that Skull's holding that line slightly. It seems a bit weavy there as Tofino has a little look at the inside, has a little look as there goes rotary. He's disconnected from the session, I believe, there potentially. So
yeah, he was out ages ago, Evil.
Yeah, so he's disconnected even more than disconnected from my party, I meant. So some potential issues there. Is Tofino, a little look at the inside yet again. Scold holds his line though. Scold's a little bit wide. He's going to get himself disqualified if he's not too careful, to be fair, Jess, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I don't know how many penalties you need to get to be disqualified. I've never been. Oh, okay, still 33 seconds. I'll do some research on that, and I'll get back to you.
Let's see. Well, the record I know someone's got, which was Scold, ironically, was 56 seconds. I remember he got it at Imola once a couple of seasons ago. So let's see if we can recreate that one today, then, with the amount of
Please don't. Please don't.
But
Scold, if you're watching, no. Just don't get any more penalties.
Well, let's see what happens, of course. But Scold, he's got Tofino behind him. Let's see if Tofino can try and make an attack as soon as he can. But Tofino, he's looking. Scold's rear end looks very loose, might I say, in this race. It looks like his rear end wants to step out. Of course, he is on the pad, so that might explain the rear end stepping out relatively more. But as the sun continues to rise, of course, the drivers on the soft tyres, their tyres definitely might be warming up. We know the softs can last the entirety of this race. However, the question is, will the drivers overheat them? Will they be pushing too hard? Will they be driving within their limits at the beginning of the race? There's so many questions to do. Meanwhile, Gazza, he's closing up now up to 3rd position in this race. By Raxa, meanwhile, he's catching up bit by bit to Vetro now. He's 33.6, so he's definitely taking a second out of these drivers ahead. So it'll take 15 laps at the pace he's going to catch these drivers. And, well, good news for Raxa. He's not going to keep the pace. He's got more than 15 laps.
That's
so
good.
He can still get 6. But with Gazza in 4th, potentially 3rd in this race, I'm wondering how many points will he need Len to still win this championship.
So, Raxa, I'm just trying to. I'll get the point. I should keep the points up on the screen, but I never do it. So, Raxa's 9th. So if he stays as he is, he will get. On my screen 11 points, and Gazza will get 26 if he stays 4th.
Yeah, so he needs to come up a few more positions then so far. So the championship will go down to the next race. There'll be a 6-point gap. So by racks up, he needs to get, I think he needs to get 6th position, Jess, in this race to win the championship. If Gaza finishes 3rd, which is 30 points if I'm not too mistaken, it should give him a little bit of a buffer. So let's see what happens, of course. 6th, I think, what's it, 15 points if I'm not mistaken?
I think so.
We'll check it up later on. I'm not too...
yeah, we'll do the maths towards the end, I think. But we'll talk about it as if the race gets a bit quiet, which it is at the moment, actually. Apart from potentially Scold and Defino, Evil.
Big better in this race. Well, Scold, we know, is very much out of the running of this race, pretty much, because he's got 33 seconds. So he is actually, I think, yeah, he's already behind Byraxer actually in this race. So Byraxer now technically in 8th position in this race, because we can bump Defino and Vector up to 7th, 6th and 7th, because Scold now downwards, and Scold might be overtaken on circuit nonetheless in a minute, because Defino still attacking, still trying. Left, right and centre, he'll end up going through him, but he's not too careful so far, as Defino a little bit curby-wurby through the exit the corner. Let's see, is he close enough to have a look up the inside into this corner? Well, he's positioning the car, can't do it yet again. Scold, he's rather backing these guys upwards towards Vector. He's only a little bit further back and actually going slightly quicker, to be fair, of the Dutchman, by a couple of tenths of a second, but those guys are over a second and a bit slower per lap now than Byraxer. He's now got that gap to just under 10 seconds. A bit of lag there for Defino for good measure. He gets wide out on the curb. Scold as well. And let's see, like, Scold, Defino. Defino's going to go to the inside this time. Now, you see what he wants to do, he needs to try and dummy him. He needs to go to the inside. He's not going to go around the outside there, because Scold's going to cover it well. He's just going to squeeze himself out of room again, then. So he needs to dummy him. He needs to dummy him, Jess, and go to the inside, don't you reckon? Yeah,
I think so as well. He's got a trick to trick Scold to making a mistake, and Scold has done a few times where he's got tricked by the car behind, but I don't think he's going to listen to the car behind at the moment. As Defino, he's going to look for a lunge end, but I don't think he's going to make it work. He's a bit too off the pace at the moment, but Defino's going to have another look again now. He's just not... I think he doesn't want to take much risk at the moment, because obviously we've still got quite a bit of this race to go, and he doesn't want his race over before it's even finished, so for him, or before he was even ended. So Defino is just going to wait for the perfect opportunity, which will probably potentially be when he gets to the straight. Is probably where he'll make the move potentially.
Yeah, let's see, of course. If he gets a good line here, he could just try and look up the inside. Let's go. Look how defensive he is. He's giving himself about a car rip for him there, and Defino, he's going to try on the outside. Then again, won't work. Try the cut back, however. And then see, he got the car back this time again, though. Now he's got the car back. Now he's side by side then. We have Scold then. Down towards the last corner. It's about 55,000 of a second then, so he's got the line. But again, that Audi has a little bit more grunt than it seems there. It's Scold cutting the corner then. Now surely this has got to be the overtake. Round the outside on the grass nearly as well for Defino. And Scold now, surely he'll have to concede that position there. He's cut the corner. And then see Defino, he'll have the outside. Then Scold will send it back up the inside in retaliation. Still can't get it, but that'll be another penalty for Scold, as Defino now again trying to go out the inside on the grass, and Scott, I think, is going to get himself more penalties in a second. He's not too careful. But Defino, he can't get past the man from Birmingham, can he?
I mean, I think he's not going to worry about... And I think Scott's got another penalty. I'm sure Scott's got another penalty. I was going to say, I think Defino doesn't need to try making for a move. Defino! Oh my goodness!
Off the road and trying it there. Skull giving him no quarters. Skull wants to fit this position like a cat looking at some string. He just wants it. He's going to have it, and you're not going to get it back off of him. Meanwhile, Gadda's still closing up on Matt Jordan below. That gap is just over 1.5 seconds. So, still a little bit of gap there. Meanwhile, backwards, by the way, Byraxer is closing on these group, by the way, quite rapidly, because the gap was 15 seconds, 5 laps ago. Now gets to the gap. It's now only 8 seconds, Jess. So he's flying towards these guys, because he's saying 33, so everyone's saying 35. Yeah, you can see him in the background, actually. He's right behind Vectro. You can see him there. There he is. He's catching, and he's catching quick. Meanwhile, here we go. Battle for 3rd and 4th position still potentially brewing. We'll keep a little look on this one. The gap now, some 6 or 6/10 give or take now, so the gap is definitely closing. And Matt Jordan, who's saying 33.8 to 33.3. Archer is Defino and Scold still battling. Now Defino's got the inside finally on Scold. And Scold now trying on the outside, and a bit of contact there for good measure. And Scold finally has been deposited by Defino then. So Defino, he's finally got that inside line where he wanted it, Jess, and he's finally passed him.
Yeah, it was about time for Defino,
no,
but look at Scold! What? That was a brilliant move. I think he was caught napping Defino, and Scold was like, see you later, I'm going to have that move. And that means, I think, less chances for him to make the move, because it's going to be very, very tricky. I mean, lost time for Defino, and Vetro might catch up soon as well. Vetro is actually catching, as well, due to the fact that these two are batting. I mean, Vetro could be a sitting duck in this and wait for the best opportunity, really. I mean, like I said earlier, the more that they battle, the more the cars behind can catch up. Is Skull going to say sip at the moment? Yes, but you can see Vetro in the background trying to gain quite more time at the moment. Defino, 1:36.0 last lap. You can tell his pressure is just getting to him.
He's trying, he's pushing, of course. He did just get past her. Scold, fair play to him. But Scold, if I was speaking, was keeping his nose there. He was giving no quarters. This is brilliant racing between these two drivers. Top quality, top tier drivers. They'll often show you what they can do. Skull drifting through the last corner. Good measure as well. Defeat a bad exit this time around. Behind them, Boiler. It's now only 4 seconds to Boyrax. And Boyrax now is definitely, I think he's actually got past, he's going to get past all three of these. As long as he doesn't get penalties, to be fair. Because these three have all got their time penalty. 33.1 and 2 seconds. Jazzman's got a 1 second time penalty up front. And he's leads this field by 10 seconds. But what a series of battles between these three drivers. As Skull again late on the brakes, a bit too wide yet again. As Defino, now let's see, is he going to have a little look again down towards the hairpin? This is the place where Skull ultimately wants to try and cover the inside line. Let's see, is he going to cover it this time? Defino really just needs to try and send it right down the inside, just give him no room. Here we go, now he gets the inside line. Now there's bang, contact on the exit as well. And a little bit of banging wheels there, and Defino back through ahead of Skull, and a bit of contact on the exit for good measure. Is Skull going to try and lunge one back up the inside? No, he's a bit too far back this time around. So Defino, this time, has got that position back through, though I think a little bit of contact that time around.
Yeah, I think Skull had to get the position to Defino, but it's fair play to Defino for trying his best to get past him. And meanwhile, we've got Gaza on Matt Jordan then for potential podium. Gaza has got to finish third. He's got to. And Matt Jordan is he's backing them on 33, so this is more like it. His pace is getting better and better. This is what we want to see from the driver who only joined in Donington. And actually, no, he joined probably after that, but I'm not entirely sure. But he is back in the 133s now, so pretty much everyone's in the 133s.
Okay, gas up the inside, Jess. That's right, can't over you up the inside. They've got a good exit through the corner, now further down towards the hairpin and have the inside line. He pulls ahead. Now he's got a car length ahead, and now Gaza, crucially, up to third position, but loses the rear end, crucially, like. And now, let's see, that could be an opportunity then for Matt Jordan to try and come back through. He'll have the outside line. Can he do anything, though? Round the outside. This potentially for the championship, then. As long as these two don't end up colliding, that's all that matters. Matt Jordan, then, can't do it. And now Gaza back to third. That's where he needs to be, we believe, to hold the championship position. And remember, like, it's not over because Boyraxa behind is now catching this huge gaggle of cars.
This is getting absolutely intense. Please get your popcorn out. Please get whatever you're drinking or eating or whatever like that, because this is going to go on for quite a while. Is this going to go on to Dubai next week, or is it going to be decided today? It is up to Boyraxa and Gaza on what they could do. Obviously, we'll do a bit of live math towards the end, but, you know, I mean, this is going to be tight for Boyraxa if he just, you know, he's got to keep the gap at a sensible pace right now. And we've got veteran Scold standing in their way at the moment, but obviously Gaza, Defino got past Scold earlier on, but maybe Boyraxa will be easy picking for Scold, maybe. But Defino, I think, will be a little bit more difficult by the looks of things, and Vetro as well, of course. But actually, no, Boyraxa will get past Vetro easily, but not sure about the others though. But we'll see as the race goes on. Let us know your thoughts in the chat, who has impressed you so far. Here comes Vetro almost on Skull there for a little bit. Friend versus friend there, fighting for position. I mean, they got like having a bit of a ding-dong battle, but just let's hope they don't have a moment where they crash into each other. But looks like they're keeping it clean so far.
They are. Meanwhile, by the way, Gaz has been overtaken again by Matt Jordan, by the way, so this battle's not over between these two drivers by any measure. We know these two still yet to come in the pit lane. In fact, everyone's still got to come in, by the way, for these top three. So this race is not over by a long shot. By Araxalo, he's having a look as these two battle. Here we go, Skold and Vetro together. Now, these two want to be careful because here we've now got by Raxa. He'll be trying to nip these drivers one at a time, and he'll nip out the inside thing. Gold having a look at the inside there and defending. And let's see, Byraxer, he's just keeping himself nice and clean. He's going to be taking it slowly. And this is what Byraxer needs to be doing now. He does not, under any circumstance, need to be caught up in any incident. Any mistake will be just catastrophic for his run here, because he needs to get up to about 6th position, we believe, which is about 20 points, give or take, I believe, in the championship. We'll confirm it later on, and then he just needs to hope he can try and come through. And actually, he's going to come in the pit lane and try to do the undercut strategy then. So this is good time. This is strategic then for Byraxa. He needs to do this then. An undercut strategy on these two drivers ahead. He should get him up to about 6th position. Meanwhile, here we go. Skold on Vector. Then the battle of the European powers. Then Netherlands versus the UK. Well, let's see which wins on this battle. Well, Skold right now has been handicapped with a 33-second time, but unless he's gone up even more. No, but still 33 seconds. So he holds his line then. 8th position, but Vetro in 7th, Defino in 6th. Gaza in 4th position. Now, I'm wondering if he comes in the pit lane and tries to do the undercut on Matt Jordan. However, to be fair, the overcut strategy this could also work around there.
Yeah, I've had a watch of these people with the undercut, and to be fair, I think going in early will probably be the best decision, because you're probably going to have more grip in your tyres because your tyres will be warmed up, and you'll be able to get good laps in quicker than the other car. And I think it's almost certain around this track that it's going to happen, because obviously the pit lane is quite short, so it is more short coming out of it than coming in, but it's going to be quite tricky. Looks like Gaza is trying to get another position then. This could potentially be for P3, but Matt Jordan covering off very nicely there, and his good defensive work is helping him in there. Obviously, Matt Jordan is on for his best result if he keeps this up. Lap 41 out of 59 here, and Skold is also still hanging about with a cheeky Vetro there, and if they're not careful, we could see... Oh, and Skold has gone off!
Catch it, good boy, he caught that one.
There we go.
Then. So, on that curve, Jess, we mentioned earlier on, if you go on that curve, it can throw you off, and now Byraxa, now technically up to 8th position, because remember, Skold's got a pit, and that will be that gap length. So as long as Byraxa doesn't end up spinning at some point, which we doubt he will, Skold, a crucial and catastrophic small mistake, and those small mistakes are the ones that cost you in these races, Jess.
Yeah, it just costs quite a few people if they carry on like that, but I think Skold, this race is over already due to the amount of penalties, because you can't slow down like you can in GT Sport. But you never know, at least he's still in this race. Skold, I believe, did not finish the last race, he disconnected, so at least he's having a better race than last week. So you could take that into consideration, and he's probably having a lot of fun as well, which is good to see. And Gaza, he's losing a bit of time to Matt Jordan at the moment. What was his lap time last time? Actually, he's not actually. 1:33.1 for Gaza, 1:33.3 for Matt Jordan. So both of them close, and obviously Tinnis is quite fast. Obviously the top two 1:33.0s. Byraxa 1:39.7. So he must have gone in the pit surely. But let's see what Gaza could do then in these final few moments of this race. And he's got to get the move soon, because you know that Byraxa is going to start challenging for moves left, right and centre now.
Yeah, but he did just pit, of course. He is the first, he is actually the first driver to pit, by the way, of these, in this race. That is Jazzman, by the way. No, that's Tinus who is catching them. So Jazzman and Tinus, who have already lapped Byraxa, and that just shows you just how far ahead and how strong these two have been so far this race. They have led almost every lap. They are to come in the pit lane, I believe, for the next 4 laps. You can just see, by the way, there's something interesting. Jazzman compared to Tinnis have got, over 1.5 litres. So it looks to me that Jazzman loses a lot more fuel per lap as Tinnis now comes in the pit lane. So Tinnis then, he's in the pits, and this is for his first scheduled stop of the race. We're still waiting, of course, for everyone else to come in the pit lane. We've got Matt Jordan and Gaza. Now, if I was Gaza, I would be coming in the pit lane, trying to do the undercut strategy, and then come get some clean air, do a quick lap, and then try and overtake Cam, or Matt Jordan, we say, with that undercut strategy. Let's see if anyone comes in there between these two drivers. And yet Matt Jordan stays out, and in comes Gaza then. So, exactly on cue then, just what I said we should do. And Gaza, he must be listening to me, because in he comes then, he'll probably be, he was probably looking at Tennis, who's just coming to pit in as well. As Tennis will exit the pit, then he will exit ahead, way ahead of, we'll be behind Archer actually, just a little bit then. So far so good for these two drivers. Tennis on his course for a good second position in this race. He had a few incidents last couple of races with disconnections and whatnot, but today he seems to be staying a little more stable today, and let's hope he finishes where he did. Gaza in 5th position, Defino in 6th, as Gaza is dropping down the positions, by the way. He'll exit around about with Vector, I wonder, actually. Let's see, he should come out just behind Vector. He does, so good old Vector, just ahead of Gaza so far in the pit lane Scott. Now, this is going to be the crucial thing, though, Jess. Where is Byraxer in all of this? Does Byraxer come ahead, or is he going to be behind? Skull, we believe he's going to be ahead, but my question is, how much is that undercut strategy?
Let's see then, as he comes across the line now to start lap 43. He's lap 43 by the looks of it. It is going to be huge.
Yeah, of course, Skull did make that mistake, though, Jess, so that might be why. We may have some slight damage with the car as well. Let's see.
I think it is damage that he's repairing, because obviously it shows the lollipop going, but... And yeah, he's going. So I think it's going to be quite a bit. I think it's obviously Fogarty's coming out. Fogarty's coming out. Let's see. Oh, can Skull get ahead of him? Oh, he is ahead. Just about. Because, and I swear Skull gets involved in. He doesn't have clear air behind all the time anymore in this race. He seems to get involved in battle after battle at the moment. So, you know. But at least he's having fun, nonetheless. But let's hope he can gain his position. Meanwhile, crucially, that puts Byraxer in 8th place.
And Byraxer now to 8th position. We're still waiting for Vector to come in the pit lane. And I did find him brilliant, by the way. At this current time, we're still waiting for the top guys to come in. But Byraxer now is only 1 position behind Gaza, as it stands. Remember, we are waiting for everyone to come ahead. We're still waiting for Archil, Tinus, Defino, and Vector to all come in the pit lane. We expect... 2 of those positions to be overtaken by Rax. So we expect at least he should finish around about 6th position, with Gaza in 3rd, maybe 2nd position in this race, so don't count anything. Remember though as well, especially now, as Vetro is now ahead of Gaza, this is going to give Matt Jordan a little bit of a breathing space, because now Gaza's got to try and overtake and pass Vetro, and Vetro, let's see, he can hold too much line, of course. He will, I don't think he'll defend too hard against Gaza. Gaza, he knows, is correct cut, and he should easily be able to get past the Dutch driver. And these two, they often have quite a friendly relationship. They are quite friendly to each other, so we don't expect these to fight too hard, Jess, do we?
No, definitely not. I mean, Gaza knows where to pick his battles between him and Vetro, and obviously Vetro knows, obviously Gaza is fighting for a championship, so it'll be interesting to see what Vetro thinks about this. But obviously, due to Vetro not pitting yet, if I was him, I would let him through, because otherwise you're going to hold not just the guy behind up, but yourself as well. You're going to lose so much more time just battling another car, and you got to focus on having some clear air going into the pit stops, and you could just drop off a little bit otherwise. So here comes, I think Gaza could potentially challenge Vetro here. Is Vetro actually going to defend? Doesn't look like he is, so I think it's going to be an easy move for Gaza. Actually, no, it might not be. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Good on Gaza. Actually, no.
No, he is through.
Yeah, that is, I think, a good decision for Vetro. As Jazzman goes into the pits. Obviously, it doesn't matter about him because he's race leader and he's ahead of pretty much everyone. But
we've got a car off, Jess, somewhere. Sorry, just to cut over you there. We've got a
Scold. That's Scold. Oh, not Scold. Not Scold.
And Scold's gone off somewhere. He's gone deep into the corner. He's been overtaken by Mr. Carl Fogarty then. So the Fog back through then up to ninth position. The OG, Mr. Fog up there. And he's off the lead. He's coming through the field after that intriguingly laggy accident with Papad. And we're not sure what happened. As now exiting the pit lane is Jazzman. He still leads this way. So he's led it from pretty much where he overtook Ethan earlier on that something, what was it, about 12 or 13 give or take earlier on in this race. He's led everything since. He's had stonking pace, stunning pace as well. Matt Jordan, he's in second position, 133.5. I'm looking to see what everyone else is doing. By Rags is setting 133.2s so far, and he's going to be closing up to Vetra. Vetra is still yet to stop, by the way, as well. We're looking at Defino, 134 twos, might I say. So he's dropping down the field a bit by bit, and 134.7. So we believe there is a potential here that the championship still can be wrapped up, because if, and we'll do some quick maths now, if Boyraxon finishes 6th, Jess, how many points is 6th position?
Let me get my little fat file for you in a second. I will do that now. If I can get it up on my phone. There we go. So 6th place, they've scored 20 points. And
if inferior, Gaza gets 3rd, how many points is 3rd position?
32 points.
So indeed, so basically Gaza, if Boyraxa finishes in 6th position, he needs to get 3rd in this race. So really, it's all lying right now. The championship entirely is lying on Matt Jordan, who's now coming in the pit lane then from 2nd position. So this is crucial then for the championship. If Matt Jordan manages to get 2nd position or 3rd position in this race by technicality, then that'll be the championship almost certainly in a questionable situation. The gap's going to be very close though. That battle with Veteran might have cost him a couple of tenths of a second. We're going to have, what, 8 laps to go? So this could be very close for the championship indeed. This is going to go down to the right, because 4th, Jess, is 26 points, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it?
Yep, I think so. So it's going to be close, I think. And Matt Jordan would probably never think that he would be in that situation. Oh, he's behind. 5th place.
He's behind.
So Gaz is 4th.
And Gaza into 4th. We're waiting for Arthur to pit then. So the undercut strategy worked an absolute treat there, and a long stop then as Vetra in the pit, then Defino in the pit then. So this is going to be the question then. Boyraxa, well, he's definitely going up to 6th position in this race. That's a given, because these two drivers, unless they exit right now, they'll still come out behind though. So it's not going to matter too much. They will come up behind them. So Boyraxa now up to 6th position. He is not too far off of Matt Jordan, however. So if Matt Jordan makes a mistake in this race, this could throw everything on its head. So Matt Jordan, he does not need to make a mistake, and he goes off. Matt Jordan off the road on cue. Then he goes deep, but that won't do too much. He'll get away with that, but off the road there, and well, luckily didn't spin the car, and a small mistake then, and he needs not to make any more of them. He needs to keep it on the road, especially for the championship. We're now waiting for Archil in the pit. And Archil, he's only got 2 litres. Has Archil got enough fuel to do this lap?
Oh my goodness! Could we see a Wolf situation where they run out of lap? But I don't know how much litres of fuel they use per lap.
It's going to be close. He's going to have to fuel save, Jess. He's going to have to fuel save very heavily here. He's only got 2 litres to make it around the entire lap. I think he should be okay there. I thought I saw a car darting off the circuit then. That was just into that little right hand. Yeah. Don't worry about that. So he's only got 1.9 litres. This is going to be close. He should just about get it. As long as he doesn't run out of fuel in the pit lane, he's short shifting. He's going to be awfully close. I think he should come in the pit and around about 0.3 of a litre in the tank.
Imagine if he doesn't come in the pits. That will be a nightmare.
Now he'll come in the pits, Jess. You can see he's fuel saving ever so slightly, so he'll make it. So he'll okay with that one. Tinnis, by the way, he's quite catching up to him. That's Fogarty, who is in the way. He'll get out of the way in due course, though. We'll just keep an eye on this, though, because he's only got 1 litre left. It's going to be close. And so he should just about do it. As Fogarty now gets out of the way, is in the pit lane comes Archil then. He's timed that one just about then. As long as his pit lane isn't right down the end of it, he should just about get away with that with 0.5 of a litre in the tank. So he's put that very much on the bubble, might I say. And let's see, where is Archil going to come out? That's the question.
Thank goodness his pit crew were not at the end, because that would have been a disaster then. So, Archil, you gave me a heart attack almost. We thought we were going to run out of fuel, but let's see what the others are. Gaz has got plenty of fuel at the moment.
Archil, good stop from Archil. Brilliant stop from Archil. This is gonna turn the champion upside down. He's coming out in third. Archil, we didn't see this one then. So that low fuel run, he's come out in third. Now that there is going to flip the championship up on its head. So now it's all switched over. Raxa is on course for the championship then. So Archil with some sensational. We didn't see it by much there. We didn't realise it. But Archil now into third position. So now Gaz is going to have to try and overtake Archil then to get into that third place. And remember, though, Archil has got that time penalty of 12. He's got 12 seconds. So that looks, it could go back either way then. So never mind then. Minus those 12 seconds. That
was a still good overcut though. You can't get rid of him on that really. That was a good overcut.
It was, but now it's all going to be crucial. It's all crucial now if Raxa can close up and crucially pass Matt Jordan. It's all going to be down to that now then.
Yeah, we'll make sure we'll do some maths when people cross the line so we could, if we do have to crown the champion today, we crown it at the right time, because I remember in another league I crowned the champion a week early, and then a few hours later someone corrected me saying, nope, he's not champion yet, it's next week or the week after. And I got a bit embarrassed there. So hopefully that doesn't happen tonight. But I've got to say, Archil, even if he's probably going to finish, he's going to still finish fourth, which will still be a good result. Or even fifth, that will still be a good result for Archil right now. I mean, he's probably going to be happy with himself no matter where he finishes at the moment. He's showing some phenomenal pace at the moment. And Gaza's still catching 132.8 for Gaza though, so he's flying and he's on more fuel than Archil, so that's probably right, but we'll see anyway. And the leader is on lap 50 with Jazzman, so we've got 9 laps to go of this race. Raxa's starting lap 50 now as well, up into 6th place. Has everyone pitted Evil?
Down the field, yeah, it does seem so. Everyone has pitted in this race. So 12 drivers, 2 out of this race, Jasco and Ethan earlier on, and we have lost Papano.
Yeah, Papano.
So
I was going to say
3
that.
drivers out of this race. We're now on that 51 of this 59 lap race. The championship going down to the wire. Then who knows who could win it? Tennis second position, Archil in third with that penalty low mine. So that does mean Gaza is in third position. That's the crucial third, meaning Raxa needs to be finishing in 5th position in this race. So really, he needs to get ahead of Matt Jordan. So Matt needs to make a mistake, which he's not really been doing too much this race. He's been keeping his car on the road. He's been not making any mistake throughout the race. But Raxa, he needs to finish in 5th.
Yeah. At the moment, he's 1 place in achieving that, and he's about 6 seconds to make. And Matt Jordan, again, is the person that is going to be either stopping that or helping Raxa. We'll have to wait and see. But, you know, Gaza's Raxa's teammate. If they come down to near a position, I wonder what they're going to do. Almost certainly they're probably going to be winning the Constructors. So I think they probably have, to be honest. So I think the question is, they've been running together for pretty much most of the season. For now, they got to focus on themselves, really, because if they focus on each other, then it won't help them in the slightest. And Gaza's now caught up another few tenths on Archil, because Archil won 33.5 last lap, Gaza won 32.7. And obviously Archil with the penalty, so Gaza will be up into 3rd right now. And obviously Jazzman with a 1 second penalty, but he's in the lead and he's got a 12-second gap, so that's not going to affect him too much. Obviously Duffino's got a penalty, Vetro's got a penalty, as well, and Skolder's got a massive penalty, which
Yes.
I still don't know how he got that penalty earlier
Gone
on.
up. It's gone up. It's 36 seconds now, Jess. So he's on the way.
36? What?
It's 36. So he's on his way. Skull, the man. Well, he's entertaining us, I suppose. Matt Jordan, though. He's
Showman,
got that.
showman.
You know, he's a showman. He's showing off. Well, let's see though. Matt Jordan, 5th position so far. He's doing what he's to do to keep Gazza's championship hopes alive. Coming to the next race, but Byraxa, he got damage earlier on, we believe potentially from his teammate. We don't know, we can't confirm it, but those two did suddenly drop very far back. They were behind everyone, so I'm wondering if they collided earlier on. But here we go, Gazza now got that gap down to 8 tenths. Now Gazza needs not to make contact here, he needs not to have any issues. Ended up spinning off the road of Archer, because if Archer gets damaged and has to pit, that'll be it. So this is all got to be a good, clean, precise overtake. The gap backwards from Matt Jordan to Byraxa is sitting at a comfortable about 5 odd seconds, give or take. It is. It says, yeah, 6 seconds at least. So as long as Matt doesn't make a mistake, everything's fine for him. Gazza, he's on his way then to 3rd position. And remember, Low Archer, he's already got that 3rd place in this race. So to be fair, he only has to just sit behind Archer to get that position. But the question is, does he want to sit behind him? I think the answer to that, Jess, we both know is no. He wants to get past, and he will definitely get past. The question is does he make any contact? Does he have anything silly? And people in the chat saying of the top 5 yet to pit, everyone has pitted in this race. So Matt Jordan, he's in 5th position. He will stay most likely in 5th position. Gazza down in 6th so far. He's trying on, he's pushing on hard, but looks like the championship will go down to next week in Dubai. Then, so I always like to say we've got a nice Twilight Zone race, and so far looks to be then Gazza hunting. Gazza trying, and Gazza looks like he's going to try and come through. Then remember, if Archer didn't have that penalty, by the way, Byraxa will be in chance of the championship, but with the penalty, it's going to flip things on its head, however. Though we've got to watch out Matt Jordan to get a penalty, by the way, because if Matt Jordan gets a penalty, that could throw things upside down very suddenly indeed. We'll keep an eye on that. Low as Archer continues on his merry way. As I coughed there, so my apologies for that one. But Archer 3rd, Gazza 4th. This is where they need to be. Ahead of them there is some of the back markers. That'll be Esser, I believe, or Skold. So far, that Esser there coming up to that in the Audi car in the slightly bigger manufacturing shed racing team. So far, Gazza, he just needs to try and find a way through. Just needs not to make a mistake, though, Jess. That's crucial. So does Matt Jordan. Does not need to make a mistake. Byraxa right now is probably praying for Matt Jordan to go off.
Yeah, I think Byraxa might be hacking into the radio of Matt Jordan saying, please crash, please help me, or please let me through, or something like that. I mean, you know, it's not over until the checkered flag falls, and it's not where you start, it's not where you are in the middle of the race, it's where you finish. So if you're not in your crucial positions by the end of the race, and if you're in a fighting spot to get the championship and you're not anymore, then that can cost you. The gap before tonight was 110 points, so you know, Byraxa needs to finish 1st or 2nd, but at the moment he's not, so that means his chances may be a bit harder, but he's 6th at the moment, so Gazza's still ahead of him at this stage, so the gap is going to close ever so slightly, but if that happens. But to be honest, in terms of a viewer's perspective, we want to see it go down to the wire, don't we, Evil?
Yeah, we always like to see it go down towards the last 2 races, of course. Next week is Dubai before the season finale in Indianapolis, of course, in just over 2 weeks' time. So, season's fastly coming on us, Jess, and, well, anything can say so far this season. It's not been the best, however, the racing today on a circuit and the conditions that have been absolutely perfect have proven to us what a real true race this can be, and the next 2 races should also provide some brilliant racing as well. But so far, Gazza on the back of Archer. We've got just under 4 and 5 laps to go in this race, so it's fast coming on this race as well. And Gazza still looking at Archer, although I think he's just going to try and just keep it nice and clean. Doesn't want to overtake him too much, does not want to get himself caught up in any mistake. Anything that could possibly go wrong will go wrong if he doesn't be careful. So he's going to be careful. He wants to be cautious. He wants to be methodical about this. He doesn't want to go off. He doesn't want to do something silly that's going to throw this championship away. He has a little lurk there at the inside, but he won't do it. He'll just keep back. He'll just look towards. Try and find the opportunity. Where aren't you? Oh no! Gazza's spun! Just on cue!
That's costly for Gazza in the championship. Could this be game over?
No, it won't do too much though. He should just get through, but costly. He spun just on cue. When I say he needs not to make a mistake, he makes a mistake. However, he'll get away with it because the gap is only, 5 seconds. So he'll get away with it. Matt Jordan there in 5th position and Byrak still in 6th. But a crucial mistake then from Gazza. He spun the car too close following, and now he really needs to be so methodical and not make any mistakes.
Oh my word. Gazza, stop doing that spin again. I mean, he may want to put a show on camera, but, you know, you can't make mistakes like that because that could be costly before it's even begun. But I think that was just lucky for him, and he can keep going towards the end, and hopefully this will survive for another race in Abu Dhabi. So, Dubai, not Abu Dhabi. Kind of similar. Actually, no, they're not similar, but you know what I mean. So, points, stat and things, it's hard to get it up on my phone. I should really have it saved, but I don't because I'm an idiot. So, obviously, Gazza's 4th at the moment. With Archer's penalty, he'll be 3rd, so 32 points. And Boyrak's 6th, and that will be 20, as we were saying earlier. So, yeah, it will go down to the wire if things stay as they are.
Indeed. Well, let's keep an eye on it, though. The gap is 5 seconds, so it's still not enough. Gap there, 11 seconds between Cam and Matt Jordan as well. Sorry, Archil and Matt Jordan, not Cam and Matt Jordan, because they're the same person, never mind. But gap's still closing. It's 5 seconds low, and these two are setting consistent, very close lap times. And Matt Jordan, so far, I must say, he's keeping himself clean. He's not cracking under any pressure right now in this race. This is good to see. Nothing is going wrong where others are cracking under pressure, where Gazza's cracked under pressure with the commentator's curse. Matt Jordan's not really cursed. Well, I've not cursed him today, which is a pleasure, isn't it, to be fair?
He said he's done well, though. You did curse him once, and that's it. But apart from that, I think you said some bad things, and he's done well. So, yeah, you should keep that up, Evil. Do a bit of reverse psychology, I must say. And we'll do the same for Archel as well, who's potentially going to get 4th or even 5th place, which I still think is an achievement in itself for Archel, who's driven superbly, I think, this race and gone for some huge overtakes in the Dime Racing livery, which I still love. And the one we haven't talked about is Jazzman, who's been leading for quite a while, and now the gap's increased to 12 seconds to Tinnis. So it looks like it's gonna be a 1-2 for their team, because obviously we've got Jazzman and Tinnis in the Squadra Coursitori whatever team, and they're gonna get a 1-2. So that's good news.
Indeed, still 3rd, still 4th then for Archil and Gazza. Matt Jordan still in 5th. Byraxa still in 6th. The gap ever still closing, though. It's 6 seconds. Byraxa, he made that mistake earlier on. He got that damage. He has not really been able to come through the field since then. And that really might have cost him this race, to be fair. That damage. And it very much did cost him the race so far. Who knows what would happen if he didn't get damage? I think this championship would have been done and dusted here and now. However, he has got that damage, but never count your chickens. Don't shout until the fat lady sings, or whatever the line is. But Matt Jordan, as long as he doesn't go off the road, as long as Archil or Gazza doesn't end up going off the road catastrophically, especially Gazza, he just has to get that gap back down to under 12 seconds. Right now it's only 4 seconds, so he's easily in that window. As long as he doesn't go off the road, it's fine. Jazzman begins his penultimate lap then here today. He's on that 58 of 59. He's coming up on the number 69 car of Vectro then, and Vectro, who was in 2nd position the most of this race, is now getting lapped by Jazzman, who's so much dominated this season when he's on pace. However, consistency is the key. He had a horrible first 3 races. He did almost score no points in the first 3 races. And now he's on course to take his 2nd victory this season. He won in Hockenheim. He's on course to win today in China.
Now,
Tennyson's 2nd as he's trying to wave and tell Mr. Vetro, move over, I'm coming for that position. Archer, he's in 2nd place so far, 3rd place so far.
4th
Gaza
because of
in
the penalty. 4th due to the penalty.
4th through penalty. Cam and Boyrax are still in 5th and 6th position. It looks like the championship just will go down to the next race, and it will go down to Dubai, where then surely it will be done. It'll be about 94 points, give or take, I think, between 1st and 2nd position after this race. Well, here we go then. Jazzman on the final lap of this race then. He's rather cemented himself into an earlier on with Ethan. That went and passed. Some might say he should have been a bit more circumcised about trying to pass him. However, he leads this race and he's rather on his way for glory and sunshine here today down in China, the industrial city. We went from the principality to the industrial area, and throughout it all, Jazzman has really shown so far that he, in conditions that have been near on perfect, in the circuits that are in the optimal conditions, he's been a man to beat. He comes through then the penultimate couple of corners, still keeping an eye out, making sure nothing goes on behind. The gap's still about 4 or 5 seconds between Matt Jordan and Boyraxa. But here we go then. Jazzman. 2nd time this season. 2nd time of asking. He needed to get his championship off the hook earlier on. He didn't do it. The 2nd half's been better. Jazzman wins down in China. He wins here in Zhuhai. A commanding victory then by 11 seconds as Vetro spins across the line for good measure. Tinnis then, so it is going to be a raging bull. 1-2 then here in China. They've done it. The championship is all but done. It's confirmed.
It's not Raging Bull.
It's not the Raging Bull, but never mind. It's the championship for them is confirmed for the constructors. 30 seconds down the road, might I say. Then we've got Archel. Then we've got Gaza. Then we've got Cam and Boyraxa as well. We'll keep an eye on it though. Archel through the last corner. He'll finish in 3rd on circuit. However, crucially though, with the penalty, Gaza, he'll take 3rd place. And with it, we'll keep the championship alive unless Matt Jordan goes off now. In the last corner, on the last lap, Matt Jordan through the last corner. He keeps it clean. He keeps it comfortable. He'll finish in 5th position. Boyraxa then, he won't do it today in China, but next week he can do it. 6th position. Next week then the championship will go down then to Dubai. Then with about 94 points, I'm saying on my mental math skills there. Defino in 7th. And the last car to cross the line then, if I'm not mistaken, he is the last car across the line. And the official rundown then of the order today. Jazzman wins a fantastic race then after contact with Ethan earlier on from Tinnis in 2nd. Gaza in 3rd then, meaning the championship stays alive until at least next week then from Archel in 4th. Matt Jordan a fine 5th then, beating Boyraxa, who did a fantastic comeback from last position up to 6th. Defino in 7th. Vector in 8th and down from 2nd. Fogarty in 9th. Esser in 10th. With Scold 11th, Vicky Daddy down in 12th, Jasco out of this race, Ethan out of this race, and Papano as well.
Yep, indeed. So I'm gonna work out the gap to make sure that we know what the gap is going into next week. So, let's just see what the gap will be. I think it will not be that far off. 98 points. So it is. Gaz is just about done enough to keep it alive, really, but Gaza needs to win next week, surely.
Indeed. Now, I apologise about him. Sorry to Jazz, man. I said he's won 2 races today this season. He didn't win in Hockenheim.
He was close. He was very,
close.
very
It was Gaza
close.
who won in Hockenheim, so never mind then.
No,
Backtracking.
he got 2 second places, but he's never won in
His
this
first
season.
win of the season. So
Yeah.
never mind then. So Jess, I'll let you round the stream off then.
Yeah. It was actually a very good race, actually. A great entertainment. We didn't see much of Jazzman, but I've got to say, the ones who have put on a good show, I think Archer deserves a mention. The app driver of the day, I would say, for Archer. I mean, I know he's got the 12-second penalty, but he's finished, and that was his main goal. So, you know, that is a good result for him. Obviously, Gaza in third as well. Matt Jordan in fifth, getting a good result there as well. So, too many people to mention, but that wraps up the stream then. Make sure you join us same time next week for Dubai. Sorry about the technical issues we had at the start. Luckily we managed to get it sorted by the start of the race, so you were able to see all the action at least. Maybe not much of the build up, but at least all the race action, and that's the most important thing. So yeah, 2 more rounds to go. Who is going to steal the title? Can he Boy Raxa seal it in Dubai? It's looking like he's going to be the favourite at the moment. All it takes for him is to make one big mistake, which is unlikely, but we'll have to wait and see. I've been JessGames95. Evil has been Evil Dragon XXL, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Safe travels, stay safe and stay alert, of course, and we will see you for round 9. Yeah, it will be round 9. For round 9 of the championship. Have a good evening. Good night.